Did you know that George Pig might be adopted?
What? What?
If there's one thing the world of Peppa Pig loves, it's patterns. And the strongest pattern of all is the rule of names. Almost every child in the show has a name that starts with the same letter as the animal they are in the original Peppa language. Think with me. Danny Dog, Susie Sheep, Emily Elephant, and even Peppa, who is Peppa Pig. It's a pattern that helps the children who watch the show recognize the animals, and it works with almost everyone. But when we look at the protagonist's brother, the pattern falls apart. His name is George, but his supposed last name is Pig. G and P don't match. This is a gigantic flaw in the internal logic of the show. Something that can't be a simple mistake by the creators, but rather a deliberate code. Why would he be the only one to break this golden rule, especially being the brother of the main star? If Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig had George biologically and named him themselves, they would have chosen a name that started with P, like Paul or Perry, to keep the family theme. The breaking of this rule suggests that the name George already came with him, predefined somewhere, maybe in an orphanage. It's as if the creators wanted to tell us that he isn't the biological son, and the theory doesn't end there. So grab your magnifying glass to investigate and stick around because another video from Zigzag Channel is starting now. Another piece of evidence that George is not part of the Pig family's original timeline appears in an episode where Peppa is watching old videos. Peppa, who is 4 years old, doesn't remember any of the scenes, which suggests that she was under 2 years old at the time of filming, since it's very rare for anyone to remember things that happened before that. What we see in the video is Mummy Pig clearly pregnant with a huge belly, very close to giving birth. Fans calculated that if Peppa was 2 years old in the video, the baby would be born soon after. And today, Peppa would be around 4 years old. But here's the problem. George is only a year and a half old. If Peppa is 4 years old and George is a year and a half, the age difference between them is 2.5 years. The baby that Mummy Pig was carrying in the video would be older than George's in the series. This age difference is what makes us think about the heaviest part of this theory. The baby that was in Mummy Pig's belly in the video didn't survive. Shocked? That's right. And because they were devastated by the loss, Daddy Pig and Mummy Pig would have gone to a local orphanage and adopted a little piglet about 6 months old. This baby may have already come with the name George, and that's why he wouldn't follow the matching initials logic. This perfectly explains the age difference and the lack of memory from Peppa and George, who would both be too young to remember the event. It's a painful past that the Pig family tries to bury. This is international evidence of this theory. In the episode International Day, the children at school dress up to represent different countries, and George appears wearing a Russian Cossack costume with traditional clothes and a fur hat. It may look cute, but why would Madame Gazelle give George, an English piglet, the costume of such a specific country? It's another subliminal code. The theory that he is a refugee orphan gains strength, and some fans believe his origin would be from the Eastern European region, Russia or Georgia. Those two countries had many orphans adopted in the United Kingdom in the late 2000s. The strangest part happens when the children go on to present their countries. George doesn't say a word, he just smiles differently. Fans say that if he came from Russia or Georgia, he would have an accent different from the rest of the Pig family. Out of fear of being bullied by his schoolmates, George refuses to speak alone, preferring to sing only together with the other children's choir. That way, no one would be able to identify his accent. This shyness to speak, combined with the Cossack costume, is a strong clue that the original George is not English. He has a heavy life story, coming from very far away, something he tries to hide from his friends. But what about you? Do you think George is adopted or not? Type #George in the comments and tell us. We go back to the names, but now focusing on the last name. Peppa is always called Peppa Pig. Daddy Pig and Mummy Pig are called that by everyone. But when was the last time you heard someone from the Pig family itself call the youngest one George Pig? Never. He is always just George. This intrigued the fans so much that they went hunting through all the episodes until they found proof. They found it.
Coincidence? I think not!
In the episode Edmund Elephant's Birthday, the Pig family receives a telegram with an invitation addressed to George Pig. Finally, the proof that he has the last name, right? Wrong. That is a big false clue. Daddy Elephant and Mummy Elephant simply believed that. Because he is Peppa Pig's brother, he was also called Pig. Anyone could think that. But actually, this is not proof that George is really the biological son of Daddy and Mummy Pig. The truth is that the family never uses the last name. Maybe because the pig couple has respect for George's original name. They may have done an adoption with the name George, but keeping his birth last name a secret. So what would that real last name be? We found one about George Pig's Russian origin that shows what his last name could be. If the rule of matching initials were kept, his name would be George Gory, because Gory is the word for pig in Georgian. Another suggestion is the Russian last name Svinya, which is the Russian word for pig, George Svinya. Maybe the pig family even has difficulty pronouncing his real last name. Now we are going to look at the toy dinosaur that George loves so much. In fact, it is not just a toy. It is the object of George's greatest devotion. But there is something very strange about this dinosaur. In the episode where the toy breaks, the pig family has an unbelievable difficulty finding a new one that is exactly the same as the old one. Daddy Pig goes to several stores, including Mr. Fox's shop, and cannot find an identical model, only a robotic version, different from the original. Why would a children's toy so popular in the country be so impossible to replace? The explanation is simple. George's dinosaur was not bought in the United Kingdom. It is a version from another country, a souvenir that came with George at the moment of the adoption. It is the only connection that George has with his original family, and that is why he is so attached to the toy. George's attachment to the toy is not that of a normal child. It is from someone who has a very strong emotional connection. The fact that Daddy Pig has to repair the original instead of buying a new one is a sign that he understands the sentimental value of that toy. But there is a problem in this part of the theory. There is an episode called The Olden Days, in which Granny Pig appears giving a toy as a gift to George, who is in his mother's arms. The toy is wrapped, but it has the same shape as the beloved dinosaur. An explanation for this could be that Granny and Grandpa Pig had the toy imported from George's original country so that he could have a keepsake from there forever. Do you know what will make you have a keepsake of us forever? Subscribing to the channel. Just click on the subscribe button. George Pig is famous for being the little pig who loves dinosaurs. But have you ever stopped to think that for a long time that was the only word he spoke? This is one of the great mysteries of the show and a secret code for the adoption theory. George took a very long time to be able to say other words besides the name of his toy. Why did it take him so long to learn to communicate? One explanation is that he is simply a shy child, but another is that George could be learning English as a second language. Remember our theory that he came from Eastern Europe, from a country like Georgia or Russia? If he was adopted at more than 6 months of age, he would have already absorbed the first sounds and words of his original language. Arriving in a house where everyone speaks English would be a big shock for George. That's why it took him so long to speak. It's a very strong clue that George had to adapt to a new country and a new language, which only reinforces the theory that he is the adopted youngest child of the pig family. But regardless of anything, what matters is that he is very loved by everyone.